Official prediction, Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland. Guys, I'm taking Uriah Hall, and this is going to be a fun one, right? This is a stand-up fight. Make no mistake. Both of these guys can handle themselves on the ground. Both of these guys are great at takedown defense. Neither is fantastic at takedown offense. They don't want to be. Just one of them hears that you didn't just get insulted. Neither one of them wants to be. They're hard to get down. They can take care of themselves when they're there, but these are stand-up fighters, and everybody knows that about Uriah Hall. You guys might not know that about Sean Strickland. Sean prefers to stay on his feet. He's got a lot of fakes. He likes to get inside. He's quick. He's got longer arms than you might think. Sean Strickland, if you watch the tail of the tape, go look at what his reach is. He's got longer arms than you think. He's got longer arms than most guys that are walking around that are 6 feet tall. It's like his superpower. He can reach out and get you from a while away. Getting into a fist fight on your feet with Uriah Hall is a challenge. There's a speed issue. This is for everybody. There is no exception out there. Uriah is lightning fast. Now, I'll give you a further prediction. Whoever wins this fight is whoever wins the first round. If things don't go well in the very first round, they're not going to get better, is my prediction. Not over 5. I do not know of a time that Sean has done 5 rounds. I do not believe Sean has ever been scheduled for 5 rounds. I believe this is his first main event. Does that matter, and is it relevant? Only Sean could tell us that, because it's not a conditioning issue. I've been in the gym with Sean. Sean can fight all day. Trained with Uriah for years. Uriah can fight all day. You guys know these things, but if it affects him mentally, and only he could tell us, only he could say, you know what, I'm a little apprehensive about those 5 rounds. I think I'm going to coast the first 7-8 minutes and make sure I have my endurance. That's a real thing fighters do. Sometimes they're as conscious as to say it the way I just did, but sometimes it's subconscious and they just go out there and let me burn a little bit of time. Even if it costs me a round, I want to make sure I can be here at the end of the night. Should the end of the night come, there is nothing more vulnerable in life, right? The expression fatigue makes a coward out of all of us is real. And many people, most people, over 95% of people, much higher than 99% of people will never experience that level of fatigue. They just will simply never get there. There's very few things in life that you could do. There's very few sports that require it of you. A lot of sports, there's a lot of break. Football, right, by example, they 2.8 seconds and they take a break, just by example. Baseball, you got to get to a base, but once you get there, okay, you wait before you move to your next base. Soccer, some other sports that are hard, that are endurance sports, but the coach can pull you out. He sees you tired, he can pull you out. It's just one of these things where there's not a whole lot that you can do in life. You could force yourself. You could go on a run and just keep going till you can't go anymore, but how many of you have done that? You could go get on a bike and get on an incline and keep going till you cannot pedal anymore to get that same experience. But how many of you have done that? Why would you? That'd be a weird thing to do if you raised your hand and said, I've done that. Why? Why'd you do that? Unless it was on accident. If you're trying to get somewhere and it turned out to be further than you thought it was. I only share that because fighters do know what that's like. They've all been there. Whether it happened in competition in front of the world or it happened 2 to 3 times in an average week in the gym, you will push yourself until you cannot go anymore. You will collapse. You will be down on a knee, huffing and puffing and trying to recover. Fighters know about that. Some people would think, well, I would never quit. And if you're one of those people, it only means, I'm not judging you, I'm sharing with you. It just means you never did one of those activities that got you there, because you will quit. Everybody will quit. A fighter is very different in that they've got a pretty good idea, because it's such a commonality within the preparation. 2 to 3 times a week, very real answer. 2 to 3 times a week, a fighter will push himself further than 99% of people ever did, including athletes. There's just not a lot of sports that call for it. I'm not passing a judgment. There's not a lot of sports that call for it. So a fighter's got a pretty good idea where that point is. And he works very hard to continue. It's a wall. You run into a wall. You can't get beyond it. So you work very hard trying to push that wall back another couple of inches, right? That's how you'll think about it in your mindset. I don't know that Sean's dealing with a damn one of those things. I don't know that he's dealing with any of those, but I'm sharing for you. It would be very normal if he was, and it would be abnormal if he's not. If he's not thinking about how hard can I go in the 4th round, how hard can I go in the 5th round? And a fighter will always think of every worst case scenario. All athletes will think of a worst case scenario, but in this specific sport, you'll be thinking, I'm in the 5th round, I'm down by 3. I'm having a hard time taking him down. My eyes swollen and my nose broken. How do I win this fight? Do I clinch him? Do I elbow him? Is that where I need to turn to my spinning heel kick? Every fighter will have an answer for it too. Even if it's a Hail Mary pass, he'll put something in that category that if he gets in the 5th round, he's down by 2. What if I'm only down by 1? What if I think that it's tied up, but I'm getting tired? What if I'm winning the whole thing, but I'm on bottom and he gets to mount? I mean, you will play every scenario in your head. What if my left eye is closed? You'll practice sometimes. You'll close your left eye the whole time in case it gets swollen shut. What if my right eye is closed? What if my hard time seeing out of both eyes? You'll play all these different scenarios through. So it'd be very realistic that Sean is thinking about the 5-round atmosphere. Does that make him apprehensive? Only he could tell us. I am going to have to guess that 5 rounds, because Uriah has been there, is going to be less mentally stressful on him. There's also a power in Sean's defense here. There's a power in not knowing what you don't know. And if any of you are listening right now and going, I would never stop no matter what. Okay, that's called being naive. Being naive sounds like an insult. It is very helpful in sport. To not know what you don't know, to not have a fear of something because you've never gotten to that point and didn't know it's something you should be scared of in the first place is very helpful. So you also got that factor in with Sean. As I look at these two guys, I see something very similar. The number is going to jump off the page of the age. But Uriah Hall, you could put a 5 in front of his number. You could add 5 years to Uriah. He's still going to be ripped up. He's still going to be fast. He's got all the right DNA. I predict for you going to have a stand-up battle. I predict for you whoever wins the first round is going to win the whole contest. And I'm going to go as far as to tell you the 5 rounds favors Uriah Hall.